is September 9th. It's around 70 degrees Fahrenheit and it's about 10 a.m. So I just want to walk through the little square foot garden here and show you all what's growing and what I have pulled out and what I plan to do sometime later today. I have a lot of peppers growing right now, a lot of bell peppers all over this little square foot garden. As a matter of fact, a lot of the plants are so weighted down, some of the branches have broken. So I'll definitely be grabbing a lot of bells today. Now here, I pulled out some tomatoes that I had. They had a blight on them. They weren't producing well, so I pulled them out and I'm going to put some sugar snap peas in there. And I went ahead and pre-sprouted those in a Ziploc bag with a wet paper towel in it. So I did that earlier this week because I just wasn't able to get out here and get them in the ground. And we're supposed to get some rain also today, so hopefully I can get them in the ground before the rain hits. I'll pull out this plant as well. This is another tomato plant, the little yellow pear. I'll go ahead and harvest all these little tomatoes. Looks like I have a basil plant which has fallen over here. I need to go ahead and probably pull this out. It's just bolting away to nothing. Shake off my soil. A nice root system on there. So this will give you a better idea of when I talk about peppers. Looks like this stem right here has just bent over because it's so weighted down with peppers down here. And like I said, they're just all over this plant. Okay, they're just lots and lots of beautiful peppers. So I'm going to grab some of those today. I'd like to make some Brunswick stew because I smoked a pork shoulder the other day, and so I want to put that in there. Corn is real good right now, and then I have peppers. I think I'll put peppers in there too. So also maybe I'll put some of my corn in there. Let me grab this and see how it's doing. Well, it looks like the top didn't get pollinated. Sometimes that happens. So now I want to grab this cob back here. And let's see how this does. Oh, that looks really nice. This is called a white shoe peg corn. It doesn't grow in rows. And it didn't get pollinated on the very end. You can see that. But I'll put this in some Brunswick stew. Now in this back bed here is where I'm planting my fall garden. So I already put out some seeds for some lettuce and some carrots. I pulled out green beans and carrots. However, the seeds are not up, so I plan to go ahead and reseed this bed today. I do have some cilantro that's on its way up here. Now my cilantro will live and survive this winter here under a foot of snow. So I make sure to plant cilantro and spinach because it makes it a lot easier for me in the spring. It's always the first thing up and growing in the spring for me because, you know, the growth slows down or really even stops in the dead of winter, but it survives fine and then it starts regrowing as soon as those temperatures start to warm up again. So I have spinach up also, and I'll show you those over in another bed here in just a minute. And then here's another pepper plant. Just loads of peppers on here, if you can see back in there. Some bells. This is called the Quadrado, and it will mature to red. Okay, so there's about 6 peppers on there, maybe 7 or 8. Oh, there's some more back here. So they're maturing back here too. And then we have over here in this bed the shiso. And I haven't really had a chance to use that much this year. You use that a lot for Asian cooking, and hopefully I can get it to germinate as well as it did this year for me, because a lot of times people have problems germinating that to get it to grow. But anyway, it's starting to bolt. At least the one I have on my deck is starting to bolt, and it looks like, yeah, this one is too. So no problem though. Hopefully I can use it next year in something. And then I have peanuts growing. These have been a lot of fun to grow this year. It'll be more fun to harvest them because I can't wait to see if there's peanuts actually growing underneath that dirt. When the peanut flowers, then it shoots down into the soil and grows peanuts underneath the soil. So I don't know if I have peanuts yet or not. We'll see. Maybe in about another month I'll harvest these before the first frost, or whenever they start to die back. And then scallions right there in the middle. Bolting basil. And then over here, another pepper plant. It is pretty much loaded down with peppers everywhere. These will mature to red. I have one right here that's huge, and it's sitting on the soil. I don't normally like for it to sit down there, so I might just go ahead and grab that today and put it in my Brunswick stew. And then I have turnip greens over there, not with the turnips, those are the turnip greens that don't produce the turnip. And I have purslane just all through here. It's just seeded. It's a weed in my area, so it just is all through this bed over here. And then I have some pickling cucumbers. So my squash beetle problem has, I still have squash beetles, but not near as bad as I had them in the beginning of the growing season. It was just terrible. And then this is an example of a pepper plant where I probably should have given it a little more support because the branch broke down as it started to set all this fruit. I mean, there's a lot of peppers on here. And so I'll go ahead and grab those today. Now over here, my spinach has come up. As you can see right there, it's through this bed. Now, there's also some dill that's up over here, but this right here is crabgrass, so I'll grab that. Another piece of crabgrass. I mean, pretty much the square foot garden is virtually weed free, but I do get some stray weed seeds falling in here. And now the celery is back here and it's growing, looking good. Back here, my cucumber plant doesn't look very good because some of those leaves are old, and that's where we had all the damage from the beetles. But I'm finally getting some cucumbers over there. That's the jade cucumber plant. Really good producer, as long as you don't have a lot of beetles. So, here are a couple more cucumbers. So I'll grab that one today. And I have to say my favorite tomato plant this year has been this beefsteak. It was the first tomato that I harvested, and it looks like it's going to also be the last. It's just, and it has some blight on it, but it's not been near as bad as my other tomato plants, and there hasn't been a lot of cracking either, so that's always good. I have a lot down here, so a lot of green ones. I might just go ahead and pull the whole thing out because I want to get those sugar snap peas planted. So I'll plant anywhere I have a trellis. I'll go ahead and plant some sugar snap peas. And then I need to head down there in just a minute and harvest some peppers. You notice early in the morning it's not getting much sun over there. They were just drying up with being on that pavement. So I went ahead and moved my GreenStalk over a little bit more in the shade so it would get shade until around 1 probably, or noon at least. So there's a tree right there next to it. And then there's something else I haven't shown you here this year, and this is lemongrass, and it's growing all along this little area here amongst all of the weeds. But it's doing real well. I think I have probably about 7 or 8 lemongrass plants here. So that will be its best probably towards the end of September into October, and where I'll cut it down and I'll harvest it and freeze it for soup during the winter. So that's the square foot garden and then my other things. So thanks for watching. Bye-bye.